Let me give you a few laws of success for small business budgeting this year. And these laws of success for small business budgeting are going to help you big time save money, are going to help you streamline your budgeting process, but most importantly, are going to help you actually have a clear idea about your financial reporting. So here are the facts I want you to pay attention to. I don't care where you are at, whether you are in a small town or in a big city, or whatever state you are at, or whatever country you're at even, okay? If you are a business owner, you have to understand how important a business budget can help you when it comes can really help you when it comes to, let's say, managing expenses or even planning for the future. Because think about a business budget as your roadmap, especially in a very challenging economic environment, okay? So that you can really go to your destination, which is profitability. So with inflation running rampant and the possibility of a recession looming anytime, you as a business owner, you need to be able to forecast. You need to forecast a lot of things. You need to forecast your cash flow. You need to manage your expenses. You need to plan for the future. You have a lot of stuff to do, right? So in that environment, you got to have a business budget. You got to have a roadmap. You got to have a GPS, a business GPS. So whether you want to revamp your budgeting method or you have never created a business budget before, in today's conversation, I want to give you a little bit about how the process works. I want to give you more info about how the process works. But before I get into the nitty-gritty, I want to quickly take a step back, okay, breathe a little bit, and give you what a business budget really is. Because you got to really understand what a budget really is before you get into the nitty-gritty. So when you think about a budget, think about a detailed plan that outlines where you will spend your money monthly or annually. Sometimes you can even have a quarterly budget where you will spend your money quarterly. So you give every dollar a job based on what you think is the best use of your business funds, and then go back and compare your plan with reality to see how you did. So you can have a positive variance, you can have a negative variance, or you can have no variance at all. So a budget will help you do a couple of things. Maybe forecast what money you expect to earn, plan where to spend that revenue, and also see the difference between your plan and reality. That's the variance. So when it comes to the laws of success for small business budgeting, you have to really understand what makes a good budget. Not only a good budget for your business, but also a good budget for any business for that matter. First, you want to understand that every good business budget should include 7 components. 7. I want you to remember those 7. You have your estimated revenue, your fixed cost, your variable cost, your one-off cost, okay, your cash flow, your profit, and you also got to have a budget calculator. Now, the budget calculator can be automated or it can be manual. Let me go quickly about all those 7 components. I want to go more in detail. So when I speak about your estimated revenue, this is actually the amount you expect to make from the sale of goods or services. It's all of the cash you bring in the door, regardless of what you spend to get there, right? It's all about cash inflows versus cash outflows. So your estimated revenue is the first line on your budget. If you think about a law of success for a small business budgeting, this is the very first law. And this estimated revenue can be based on last year's number, or if you are a startup, based on industry averages. Next, you want to think about your fixed costs. So your fixed costs, let's say, those are all your regular consistent costs that don't change according to how much you make, like things like rent, insurance, utilities, bank fees, accounting, and legal services, and equipment leasing. Now, this fixed cost, the good thing is that they can really change based on the industry you're in. So if your business switches from industry to industry, you'll realize that the fixed cost will change. Your variable cost actually will change according to production or sales volume, and they are closely related to cost of goods sold. Okay, that is anything related to the production of or purchase of the product your business sells in the first place. So variable costs might include raw materials, inventory, production cost, packaging, or shipping. Other variable costs can include sales commission, credit card fees, and travel. So you want a clear budget plan outlines what you expect to spend on all those costs. You have your one-off costs. One-off costs fall outside the usual work your business does. And so when I speak about one-off costs, I'm speaking here about moving expenses, for instance, equipment and software, as well as other costs related to launch and research. So if you think about the seven components, I already gave you four, right? Let's talk about the other three. So when it comes to the laws of success for small business budgeting, your cash flow is going to be foundational here. So when you think about cash flow, I want you to think about cash inflow versus cash outflow. The net is actually your cash flow. So cash flow is all money traveling into and out of your business. You have positive cash flow if there is more money coming into your business over a set period of time than going out. So you have, let's say, it can be a month, it can be a week, it can be a quarter, it can be a year. This is most easily calculated by subtracting the amount of money available at the beginning of a set period of time and at the end. So since cash flow is the oxygen of every business, including yours, you want to make sure, and please, I beg you on this one, you want to monitor your cash flow on a weekly basis or at least monthly. If you are even more cautious, you can even monitor your cash on a daily basis. Yeah, you just never know. You just never know. Okay, you could be raking it in and still not have enough money on hand to pay your suppliers. Your profit also. So profit is what you take home after deducting your expenses from your revenue. So growing profits mean a growing business. Here you want to plan out how much profit you plan to make based on your projected revenue, expenses, and cost of goods sold. So if the difference between revenue and expenses, aka profit margins, are not where you would like them to be, you need to rethink your cost of goods sold and consider raising prices. Or let's say if you think you can't squeeze any more profit margin out of your business, consider actually boosting the advertising and promotions line in your budget to increase total sales. Finally, you got to have a budget calculator. So I'm showing you on the screen here what a simple budget calculator looks like. You can see I'm going to leave this on the screen for a couple of seconds so you can see the income, the budget, the actual, and what's under over. The under over, that's the variance I was talking to you about a little earlier. Okay, so I'm leaving this on the screen. But when you think about budget calculator, think about a tool that can help you see exactly where you stand when it comes to your business budget planning. It might sound obvious, but getting all the numbers in your budget in one easy to read summary is really helpful, especially if you are thinking about scaling. So when it comes to the laws of success for small business budgeting, you have to really think about, let's say, laws that really apply to the specific business or that you currently have, the niche you're in, the kind of the type of business you have. Let me give you the laws of success for small business budgeting for seasonal businesses. If you're a seasonal business, you want to pay attention to a few things. So if your business has a busy season and a low season, budgeting is doubly important. Because your business is not consistent every single month, a budget gives you a good view of past and present data to predict future cash flow. Again, when I say cash flow, I'm speaking about cash inflow and cash outflow. So forecasting in this way helps you spot annual trends, see how much money you need to get through the slow months, and look for opportunities to cut costs to actually offset the low season. And you can use your slow season to plan for the next year, negotiate with vendors, and build customer loyalty through engagement. Now, don't assume the same thing will happen every year though. Just like any budget, forecasting is a process that evolves. So you want to start with what you know. And if you don't know something, like what kind of an unexpected cost might pop up next quarter, just give it your best guess. Better to set aside money for an emergency that doesn't happen than to be blindsided. Think about what happened during COVID. Those things happen all the time. Okay, when it rains or when it snows, don't complain about the rain or the snow. Think about protecting yourself more. If you are an e-commerce business, the main budgeting factor for e-commerce is shipping. Shipping costs and potential import duties can have a huge impact. So, do you have space in your budget to cover shipping for customers? Shipping to customers? If not, do you have an alternative strategy that's in line with your budget, like flat rate shipping or real time shipping quotes for customers? Packaging can affect shipping rates, so factor that into your cost of goods sold too. So while you're at it, consider any international warehousing costs and duties. You also want to create the best online shopping experience for your customers, so make sure you include a good web hosting service, web design, product photography, advertising, blogging, and social media in your budget. If you have an inventory business, if you need to stock up on inventory to meet demand, factor this into your cost of goods sold. Use the previous year's sale or industry benchmarks to take a best guess at the amount of inventory you need. A little upfront research will help you ensure that you are getting the best prices from your vendors and shipping the right amount to satisfy need, mitigate shipping cost, and fit within your budget. So that's important. The volume of inventory might affect your pricing too, okay? For example, if you order more stock, your cost per unit will be lower, but your overall spend will be higher. So think about that. If you think about the laws of success for small business budgeting, I want to really apply that to custom order businesses. So if you are a custom order business, you have to understand that when creating custom ordered good, when creating those custom ordered goods, you want to factor in labor time and cost of operations and materials. This vary from order to order, so you want to make an average estimate, especially if you are trying to get things done in a scalable manner. Let me give you the law of success for small business budgeting if you are a startup. So budgeting is kind of tricky for startups. Why? Because there is no history. Okay, you rarely have an existing model to use. Do your due diligence by researching industry benchmarks for salaries, rent, and marketing costs. You want to ask your network what you can expect to pay for, let's say, professional fees, benefits, and equipment. And by the way, those fees will depend on your location, right? If you are in Dover or Delaware versus LA, if you're in California, you don't have to pay the same amounts. But either way, you want to set aside a portion of your budget for advisors. Here I'm speaking about accountants, lawyers, that kind of thing. And a few $1,000s upfront could save you thousands more in legal fees and inefficiencies later on. So this is actually just scratching the surface, and there is plenty more to consider when creating a budget for a startup, okay? And if you have any question, please let me know in the comment section, and my team will certainly get back to you and explain things further. If you are a service business, here is a law of success for small business budgeting for you. If you don't have a physical product, you want to focus on projected sales, revenue, salaries, and consultant costs. Figures in this industry, whether accounting, legal services, creative, or insurance, can vary greatly, which means what? It means your budget will need flexibility. And these figures are relying on the number of people required to provide the service, the cost of their time, okay, and fluctuating customer demand. So that's important to look at it from that point of view. So if you think about the laws of success for small business budgeting, you cannot ignore, you cannot underestimate templates. Okay, you do have small business budgeting templates that are actually out there for you. A business budget template can be as simple as a table or as complex as a multi-page spreadsheet. Just make sure that you are creating something that you will actually use. Okay. Create your budget yearly. A 12-month budget is actually standard fare, with quarterly or monthly updates and check-ins to ensure that you are on track. So let me share with you some of my favorite templates for you to plug into your business and get rolling. First, you have the balance. So you can see on the screen here the balance. The balance actually has a clear table template that lists every budget item, the budgeted amount, the actual amount, and the difference between the two. So use this one if you are looking to keep it simple. So this is actually from the balance. Fantastic. So that's the first screenshot for the basic business budget worksheet. That's how they call their template. That's the first screenshot. That's the second screenshot. That's the third screenshot. You also have a wonderful one from Capterra. So Capterra has both monthly and annual breakdowns in their Excel downloads. It's actually straightforward, thorough, and fairly foolproof. So I'm showing you right now on the screen the templates from Capterra. You're going to have to provide your email address and the first name for them to actually give you the template. Okay, but this is the sign up page. Next, you have a Google Sheets. So Google Sheets has plenty of budget templates hiding right under your nose. They're easy to use and they translate your figures into clear tables and charts on a concise visual summary page. So I'm showing you right now. The cool thing about Google Sheets is that you do have a process that's available to nearly every small business owner. So if you're thinking about implementing the laws of success for small business budgeting, just take a look at the template gallery on Google Sheet and choose the template that really fits your business. Like I said, every industry will actually, every template will resonate, if you will, quote unquote, resonate with a specific industry. So you have to see what works in your industry and see how you can implement the specific template that you have. But this is not just about your industry; it's also about your business's operation. Next, I want to share with you another template. That's Smart Sheets. So Smart Sheets has multiple resources for small businesses, including 12-month budget spreadsheets. You have department budget templates. You have projection templates. You have project by project templates. And you also have startup templates. So that's kind of cool. And even cooler, those templates are ideal if you are looking for a little more detail. So if you're not really, if you don't like the templates from The Balance, go with the one from Smart Sheets. You can see on the screen here, Smart Sheets also, they want you to really enter your email address, your work account, for them to actually start, because they're trying to really build their email list also. So they're giving you a free resource. The least they can get from you is your email. You also have Vertex. So if you are thinking about small business budgeting and you're looking for a template, I want you to really think about Vertex 42. And Vertex 42 focuses on Excel spreadsheets, and they also offer templates for both product-based and service-based businesses, as well as a business startup cost templates for you if you are launching a new business. So you can see on Vertex 42 here, if you look at the right side of the screenshots, you see a lot of templates. Okay, so you just have to choose which one you want. And again, you don't have to really do anything. You can just download for free. You don't even have to provide your email. So that's kind of cool. So bottom line here is what, when it comes to the laws of success for small business budgeting, you have to understand that budgeting without bookkeeping is not really it's not going to get you that far. So making a budget is kind of like dreaming. It's mostly pretend. But when you start pulling on accurate historical financials to plan the upcoming year, and when you can check your budget against real numbers, that's when budgets start to become useful. The only way to get accurate financial data is through consistent bookkeeping. Okay, so you might want to check my video about small business bookkeeping, or you can just outsource your bookkeeping to an outsider. It can be an external bookkeeper or even another company. The cool thing is that when you outsource, you are able to focus on what you're good at, which is running your business, and you can rely on a professional to really help you, especially when it comes time to file your taxes. So here is a prognosis. In today's conversation, I'll give you the laws of success for small business budgeting. I give you the facts, the laws of success based on the industry you're in, and now the templates. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.